Okay, it's Atlanta's #1 hip-hop station, Hot 107.9 and home for the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Of course, you know it's your folk, B-High. Radio shouting, stepping in the building. I got an NBA star, big 3-star, and a cannabis entrepreneur in this thing. Al Harrington, what's good with it, my dog?
What's good, B-High? What's cracking?
I mean, feeling good, feeling great, man. But I mean, Al, let's get straight to it. This cannabis, man.
Yeah, man.
You done jumped into a new game, man. I'm seeing all on the news and on the TV that's the new thing as far as entrepreneurship out here, man.
Yeah, man. You know, it's a very challenging industry, but you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of fun. You know, I'm learning a lot, and at the end of the day, I'm helping a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I consider all the people that use my product patients, and you know, we're making them very happy.
Now, what was it that made you go ahead and decide and get into the game?
Well, it's actually my grandmother, man. You know, I was playing the Denver Nuggets. I played there, I think, 2010 and 2012. And, you know, the medicinal program that went legal there in 2009. And when my grandmother had come to see me or whatever, you know, I didn't know she lived in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I didn't know that, you know, she was suffering from so many different things, you know what I'm saying? So when she got to my house, she put a pill box up in the kitchen, and she started popping all these pills. So I just asked her, I'm like, Grandma, why you taking so much medication? And she started telling me she suffered from, you know, high blood pressure, diabetes, glaucoma. And when she said glaucoma, it stuck in my mind because 2 days before that, I was reading the newspaper how cannabis helped with glaucoma.
Yeah.
So I started talking to her about it and, you know, telling her, like, the benefits that I was reading. And she was like, after I finished telling her, she was like, what's cannabis? And I was just like, it's marijuana, it's weed. She said, reefer?
Yeah.
She said, boy, I ain't smoking no reefer. You better get out of my face. So, she wasn't having it. So the next day I came home, I had a game this day, and she was sitting in my kitchen again. This time, you know, her face in her hands. And when I walked in, I was like, what's up, Grandma? And she looked up, and she's like, that's you, baby doll? She's like, my eyes hurt so bad today I can barely see. Damn. So I said, you taking all that medication and you can't see? I'm like, you still in pain? And she said, the medication's hit or miss. So I said, well, listen, Grandma, why don't you just try the cannabis? And at this time, I'm not even a smoker either. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I didn't know the benefits of it either. So it's just going off what I read. So she, you know, I talked to her for a while, and she said, you know, I'm in so much pain today, I'll try anything. So I called my boy who had a car, and I said, yo, go to the dispensary and ask him what they had for glaucoma. So he brought it back Vietnam Kush. I remember like it was yesterday. So we took it in the garage. We vaporized it for her. And, you know, I took it in the garage, and she started smoking. So, you know, she did it like 3 or 4 times. And I said, all right, Grandma, that's enough. I'm going to take you downstairs, you know, make sure you don't start tripping. So I went and took a nap. And when I woke up an hour and a half later, when I was ready to jump in the shot, I said, you know, let me go check on my grandma. Just make sure she ain't climbing the walls or nothing. So I go downstairs, and, you know, the door's closed. So I knock on the door and stick my head in the door. And her back was to the door, and she was looking down. And I said, Grandma, you okay? And she turned around, and she was crying tears. And she said, I'm healed. She said, you know, I haven't been able to read the words of my Bible in over 3 years. And she was downstairs reading her Bible, you know what I'm saying, that the, you know, cannabis pretty much cleared up her eyesight.
That's crazy right there.
Word. So that's what inspired me, man. So then at that point, I really started to read up and do my homework. And I hate reading, too. But this was just so interesting, like realizing, like, you know, like all the medicinal benefits is something that when I was growing up was always considered a gateway drug. Like people told me if I smoke weed, even my grandmother, she said, if you smoke weed, you're going to end up smoking crack. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't going to never smoke crack. You know what I'm saying? But to see, you know, cannabis help her, and the first thing she do is turn to her Bible. It's just amazing. It just let me know, like, you know, this might be something to this.
Now, as an entrepreneur, growing your business in it, I mean, how's that been for you, man?
It's been good, man. It's been a lot of ups and downs. You know, what I did was, you know, in true entrepreneurship, I put up all my own money in the beginning. Woo. You know what I'm saying? So I put up, you know, a bunch of millions of dollars to get my company where it is today. And, you know, through that process, I had some wins, I had some losses, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I just kept putting one foot forward, and we just kept moving forward no matter what we dealt with. And that's where we are today. Now we're operating out of 4 different states. We're looking at adding 2 more states in first quarter next year, and, you know, and 2 international locations as well. So we grinding.
What do you think about the legalization of everything right now?
I think it's coming, man. You know, it's weird. For some reason, I feel like Trump might have a play on it where, you know, he might try to, you know, federally legalize it because then he could put the spin on it where now he make the feds have to come in and really clean up the industry and stuff like that, which sucks because now it's more people going to go to jail. Yeah. But, you know, if he don't do it, I think within the next 10 years we'll have, like, national legalization, and we'll be following the footsteps of places like Canada.
Now, outside of just selling the cannabis, you're also hooking folks up with scholarships, though, Al.
Yeah, man.
Break that down to me, man.
Man, we just trying to be different, man. We just trying to make change in this industry, and you know, God put, you know, a good friend of mine, you know, in my life. His name is Huey, and you know, he told me about, his university, which is called HBCU.
Yeah.
And, he just really talked to me about the way he wanted to, impact this industry through education.
Yeah.
And it was something that I always wanted to do as well, but I just didn't know how to do it, or I didn't have the right partner to actually help, kind of partner up with to make this happen. And, once we plugged in, he started telling me about all the relationship he had with all the HBCUs around the country. And the first school we went to was FAMU. And, we talked to them about it, and they were very open to it. And, they allowed us to do the HBCU Viola Harvest Scholarship, which we're going to send 10 kids to school next semester, to learn about, the cannabis industry as a whole, from cultivation, manufacturing, even retail, and just the whole entrepreneurship of it as well. And the way we're going to do it is do 5 boys and 5 girls from areas that have been most impacted by the war on drugs.
Sounds like one of the greatest ideas of all time in this thing. I mean, you can't ask for too much more for you to be able to make money doing something positive and also educating folks and giving back to the community at the same time. Now, what about the challenge, though?
Well, yeah, the challenge is, so we had these cool T-shirts, you know what I'm saying? And I'm actually wearing one. I actually gave you one. And, what we want to do is we want to take proceeds from, from the T-shirt sales to continue to, grow the scholarship. Because, my vision is to eventually have every HBCU around the country have some type of program, cannabis related, so that we can start to teach our people who have, been, the most affected by this actual plant.
Exactly.
I don't call it a drug anymore. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, we need a seat at the table. You know what I'm saying? Because, the way they're setting it up, you know what I mean, is being monopolized from a, cash flow standpoint. It's like I'm actually doing a New Jersey application. I'm from New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? You have to show $30 million in a bank account, just part of your application. So how many people can do that? You know what I'm saying? Especially that look like us. There's actually none. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's only 3% of us that represent the marijuana or the, the cannabis, industry right now. So I want to change that through education, create more jobs, you know what I'm saying, so that we can get a seat at the table and, have our share in this.
What do your compadres say when you try to tell them to get into the game, man?
They all want to do it, They all want to do it. It's funny, like in the beginning, I was turning money down because I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to lose anybody money and have to call them like, yo, fam, all the money gone. You know what I'm saying? So I did it on my own, but now, you know what I'm saying, I got a lot of good support from, current players, retired players.
Yeah.
Some have invested, you know what I'm saying? Most of the, all retired players, and, we're just trying to work together and build something, incredible.
How do you feel being able to get into the game, man, and watch your business grow, man, just from a personal standpoint, after basketball, being able to just say, you know what, let me diversify these funds and get it out the mud again?
Yeah, it feels good, man. It's funny that I always say cannabis chose me because, like, I never, I had teammates that smoked. It just never was my thing. You know what I'm saying? But, after I saw the way it helped my grandmother, and then, once we became caregivers, and we was, all our patients either had HIV or cancer. So even seeing them, how happy they was, being able to use our products and stuff.
Exactly.
It was just like, wow. And, from a passion standpoint, I think that a lot of pro athletes, they struggle with that, not knowing what they're going to do next.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I found something that I love just as much as I did, going to the gym to work out. You know what I'm saying? So I was one of the lucky ones. You
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying? So it's just been a huge blessing for me.
But see, you didn't put the ball down, though, Al. I mean, you got the big 3, and you still out there giving folks hell on that court.
Yeah,
Talk to me
man.
about that, man.
I'm a walking bucket, bro.
Yeah.
It's easy work, man. I'm able to do that till I'm 100.
Exactly.
But no, it's been a lot of fun, man. Cube's an amazing dude, man.
Yeah.
Like what he did for us, you know what I'm saying? I think what he recognized was that, the NBA spends billions of dollars building all of our individual brands, and then at some point they decide that they don't need us anymore. But at the same time, we still got this huge engine that was behind us.
Exactly.
So, Cube, found a way to kind of pick that up, you know what I'm saying, and give guys, a platform to get out and do what they love. A lot of us have young kids, so now our kids get a chance to see us play and stuff like that. So, it's so many different dynamics that go on around, this league that, it's just really good. And, like I said, big shout out to Q for, creating this for us.
What was going through your mind when he came up with the league and you realized that everybody was getting down with it too? Because it could have been a situation where it wasn't a lot of good players going to that league, but I mean, there's some stars over there hooping, man.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny because, you always hear about all these retirement leagues. Like, there's still other retirement leagues that's supposed to be coming around and going to play in 30 cities and overseas and all that. And none of it never happened. So when I heard about Cube thing, I was more like, I believe it when it happened. You know what I'm saying? And then, they made this announcement on SportsCenter with him and Allen Iverson and Kenyon Martin and Rashard Lewis. And then I was like, all right, this might be real. And then, they had a combine or whatever. So then at that point, I started believing it. And, they made it happen, man. And it's funny because, obviously, they go through a lot of ups and downs in this business. But at the end of the day, man, they continue to try to make this product better and better every time. And, it's like I said, it's amazing to be a part of pioneering something that I feel like has opportunity to be around for 20 years now. And it's definitely not no gimmick.
What went through your mind when you realized that y'all had fan support too? Because y'all are selling out arenas out here too, man.
Yeah, obviously last year having Allen Iverson really helped. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody loved the answer. You know what I'm saying? And what it seems like is how I get a feel of like the crowd is like it's a lot of parents that are bringing their kids like, you like that Steph Curry, but this is
some real basketball.
Let me show you AI.
Yeah.
Let me show you Al Harrington. Let me show you Chauncey Billups. You know what I'm saying? So I think these kids get a chance to like come and see us play physical basketball. They're not used to it at all. I'm sure they leave out of there like, I never want to play like that. Just because how physical, but we go out there and compete. And I think that, I wish, I could bring my son. If my son was old enough to come and watch the game, but that's the kind of energy and effort you got to bring. You know what I'm saying? With the finesse.
Talk to me about the love of the game, though, Al, and being able to have that longevity within it, though, man.
Yeah, man, it goes by fast, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I played 17 years as a pro.
17.
And it seemed like it was 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But for me, like the most challenging part is like always knowing that there's somebody trying to take your spot. You know what I'm saying? I just think you could never get comfortable and complacent because there's always some young boy that's just hungry. You know what I'm saying? Behind you. So that was one of the things that fueled me to make sure I always bought everything I had every day.
On that court, though, man, what were some of your games that you felt like you just really got your stuff off on, man, that you went home that night saying, you know what, I gave them boys the business?
I had a bunch of games.
Yeah.
I had a lot of games where I felt like I got hot, but, one of them to stick out, I think I had like 44 or something like that in Denver one time. I had like 40-something in the Garden one time. I had 40-something in Indiana. So, a couple games that, stick out or whatever. But, when you hot, it's fun.
How was it for you when you first got into the league, making that transition, realizing that you was out there with the big dogs now, man?
Yeah, it was real because, I went to the Pacers. That was a team that was trying to win a championship.
Come on, man.
They had no time for no young players bringing them along or nothing like that. So, in some cases they left me in the dust, but at the same time, I had good vets that was just always on me, just always encouraging me, telling me to work. I'm gonna have my time because you come from high school being the man to going to the NBA and you like the worst player on the team. You like, how does this work out? You know what I'm saying? How did this happen? But at the end of the day, like I said, they really taught me how to work. You know what I'm saying? What it was going to take for me to have that type of longevity. And like I said, I think I played longer than most of them.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, coming out of high school, what was that transition like, though, man?
You know what, man? Funny, people always like, what was it? Must have been crazy. You had the big head. I was like, I think I was so naive and like just so like caught up in the moment. I didn't really have a chance to really be on any of that. You know what I'm saying? We, when I first came to the league, it was a lockout. You know what I'm saying? So we wasn't going to work. So, I was just, working with the guys, and I didn't have money yet. You know what I'm saying? So so I'm out of high school now, and now I'm playing, but I was down here in Atlanta the whole time.
For real?
The season started that year. I was staying with Stephon Marbury.
So y'all was down here acting a damn fool.
Yeah, he showed me the ropes.
Yeah.
He showed me how to live it up. I tell you all the time, I got all my swag from my grandmother and Stephon Marbury.
That's cold, man. That's cold.
But yeah, like I said, I was just naive, man. I was just rolling with the punches. You know what I'm saying? I never really had that one moment. You know what I'm saying? I guess the biggest moment was just when I was able to call my moms and be like, Mom, you know what? You ain't got to go to work today.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And when I was able to do that, it was huge for me.
What was the competition level like from high school to the NBA, man?
It was just grown men. Like, it was more vets. Like now everybody's young. Like, everybody that's playing all the minutes is under 30. You know what I'm saying? But when I came in the league, all the minutes, everybody's playing all the minutes was over 30.
Yeah.
I played against like Karl Malone and Sam Perkins and like real OGs. You know what I'm
saying? Some dream teamers.
Oh, I played against Barkley, Hakeem. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay, so now talk to me about those levels of competition, man. Because 17 years, you experienced it all.
Right.
Which one was the highest level, man?
Definitely back in the day.
Talk to me.
Because they really didn't like each other. Like now, all these dudes like each other. You see they all playing the Drew League together.
Yeah.
Do all this USA basketball, all this stuff. So now it's just different because like back then they really didn't like. I could just remember Reggie like, who over there? And I'm not going over there. Type, you know what I'm saying? And this was with multiple teams. It wasn't just the Knicks. But now, like, you know, I said, these young boys, they get into the city, pick each other up, go to eat, and then they go out and try to compete against, and they compete hard. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would say the talent level in the game right now is by far as past like even the 2000s. I thought the 2000s was the most talented.
Yeah.
These young dudes now is just like they so nasty.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So, but so they're getting better from that perspective. But I don't think nobody hates anybody anymore, and I think you kind of need that sometimes.
What
Even in the big three, we got people that kind of hate each other already.
What about the physicality of it all? Because see, back then, folks was getting punched in the face.
Yeah, it's not
Talk
physical.
to me.
It's not physical no more. You know what I'm saying? It's all about freedom of movement. I mean, I was just watching a highlight on Instagram of Enes Kanter, who's a true center in the NBA, shooting threes. So, like, the game is soft. Like, he don't even want to bang. Like, I seen him literally catch it in the post, throw it out, and then go shoot threes.
Because I'm thinking if you put up 40 back then, you had to earn that 40.
Yeah,
it wasn't no you just getting open shots every 5 seconds. You had to feel that.
Yeah, you had to
Now,
feel
on another
it,
note, man, that unlawful Detroit police raid, man.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, man. You know what sucks about, the police in Detroit? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it sucks for them. You know what I'm saying? They're not paid well. They're not paid well at all for, the risk that they put on their lives. So, I kind of see why you kind of put them in position where they will be over-aggressive with trying to confiscate people's property. You know what I'm saying? Asset forfeiture is something that's really real. It's a bill that, that's something that, Donald Trump signed. And at the end of the day, what it is that if, you're doing something unlawful, everything that has been confiscated goes to the police department. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, there's the cash grab at the end of the day. And I feel like with my warehouse, we had all the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? We've been out there for over a year and a half. We never was hiding. The city knew we was there. They gave us all the permits. They okayed all our architectural drawings, everything across the board. And it's just, to me, I don't understand how they could not get that paperwork if they just asked somebody. You know what I'm saying? So what I think what happened was they expected to come in there. It was going to be $1 million in cash. They was going to take 800 of it.
Exactly.
They was going to, report 200 of it. And whether it was right or wrong, they won. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that wasn't the case. You know what I'm saying? We was literally just starting. We was waiting on our dispensary permit, which we got literally like the next week. And, it's just unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, it's unfortunate, but I got to continue to speak on it because there's a lot of people that this could have happened to. They couldn't have survived this. You know what I'm saying? Because with asset forfeiture, not only they take everything in my warehouse, they froze bank accounts, either from my business and some personal. So at the end of the day, like if that happened to someone else that didn't have other resources, they can't pay their rent. They can't pay an attorney. They can't pay the lights. They can't do anything. You know what I'm saying? So that shit got to stop. You know what I'm saying? Now. They got to do better than that. They got to be held more accountable to just, senseless bullshit raids, especially in the industry that's creating jobs and is going to make their job better. And it's funny, like I wanted to really tell the police when I was in court with them, like, y'all have been better off knocking on our door and saying, let us get a job. Like real talk. I mean, they could have been our security on our building. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we're trying to do as a company. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to make communities better. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to increase the workflow and stuff like that. We're not coming here trying to take. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we're trying to do. And especially when you look at the area we was in Detroit, like it's nothing down there. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna create 75 jobs at that building. You know what I'm saying? So they just got to get their act together, man.
What was going through your mind as a young man trying to have things and getting your business off the ground, and then for a setback like that to pop out of nowhere? Did that just kind of, spoil the moment and make you rethink some things, or how did that affect you?
Yeah, it's frustrating, man. I mean, first, obviously, you hear it, like, you automatically think, like, what did I do wrong? You know what I'm saying? Because you was doing everything right, So the first thing, you just get nervous. But then once you realize that you're doing the right thing, then you just realize it's just a bump in the road. You just got to keep moving forward, you know what I'm saying? Pioneers take arrows in the back. You know what I'm saying? And I got a big back. So, fuck it. I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? And we're just going to keep pushing.
I can definitely dig that. Lastly, what you got coming up next, Al, and anything else you want to get off your chest, my dog?
Nah, man. I just want people just to continue to, give the cannabis industry a true shot. You know what I'm saying? Like before you, make, opinions on stuff, like do a little bit of, research and educate yourself because, I'm a firm believer that this plant can heal the world. I feel like if more of us had cannabis in our system than some of these other things that we're putting in our bodies, you know what I'm saying, the world would be a much better place.
Exactly.
And, so, Viola's going to be one of those brands that's going to continue to do that. You know, we also have a CBD line that's coming out called Replay that's going to be under Harrington Wellness. So, you know, I'm making products that are going to be catered towards, you know, athletes and weekend warriors and stuff like that, because we know that opioid crisis is very real, and you know, we know that those pills are very harmful and they do way more harm than good. You know what I'm saying? And we know this flower could be amazing for us, and we know it could give us an alternative way to medicate ourselves to a lot of the, you know, the tough times that we go through. So that's just my message, brother.
I can definitely dig it. Al!
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you coming through this thing, my dog. Wish you nothing but the best and much success. Be High Radio Shout. It's Hot 107.9, man. Let's go.